Okay, the moment of truth for the Black Stars of Ghana, and of course the indomitable Lions of Cameroon is almost here. Of course, Ghana just have a few days to know their fate regarding their participation at the 2024 Africa Cup of Nations. While Cameroon, of course, they're still playing. They will be playing next week. On that note, I welcome you to Nigeria's Fans Forum. Of course, this is where we discuss everything, footballing stories on the continent. I'd like to welcome James Ayew and Kado Gundari to the show. Guys, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Femi. Happy to be here.
All right, okay. So much to talk about, but of course, like they say, charity begins at home. Let's start with the Nigeria Football Federation. Of course, finally, we've got something regarding their negotiation with Ose Pesero, and they have come out to say that it will be continuing with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But it seems everything is still shrouded in secrecy because the NFF refused to actually say what Ose Pesero will be earning right now. The speculation is that his salary has been reduced from $70,000 per month to $25,000 per month. And they also didn't address the issue of his outstanding, which is 10 months, which amounted to $700,000. James, let's get started on this. Eventually, we knew it was going to come to this, but we were not certain if Ose Pesero was going to accept. But the debate right now in Nigeria is that a lot of people are saying this guy doesn't even know what to do because no good coach will accept such massive slash in his salary and still decide to keep his job.
I mean, Pesero told us before that he wants to win the Nations Cup. He has been harping on want to win the Nations Cup, want to win. So maybe this is part of the sacrifice that, maybe if he eventually win the sacrifice, it's going to be a bigger bump up contract for him. So since he has a target, so whatever comes with the package, so he has to accept. And so a lot of people are looking at it that it's being desperate, and I mean, it's I don't know. If as long as it's an agreement, he decided to allow his contract to be slashed. Well, I don't think the contract would have been as in the extension would have been done without agreement being everything being signed, sealed, and so it means the two parties have agreed and it will be accepted to have his contract slashed. So all the best to him. I think that's now should be kept aside now, and let's focus on the task ahead. We have a formality game against Sao Tome and Principe. New players are in now, so it's a good opportunity for him now to focus on the new players, how to gel those players with the team. Like I said, the contract issue now is no more an issue for us now. Whether he got his salary, the reduction, or all that is in the past now. So let's just focus on the Super Eagles and see how we're going to have these new guys gel with the new ones, and let's see whether they'll be able to land the AFCON for us next year.
Okay, Akayo, a lot of things you've said in the past are currently playing in my head. And now it's been given the target of leading the Super Eagles to at least the semi-finals of the 34th Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire next year. And it will also be in charge of the home-based Eagles. And according to the NFF, that contract is going to run until sometimes next year. Akayo, is it that for Nigeria now, it is more like a win-win situation for Nigeria because you look at it at the fact that, okay, we wouldn't have to bother about a new coach. But again, do you think the quality we are getting can actually deliver the AFCON for us next year in Ose Pesero? Do you think the quality can deliver AFCON to us next year?
Number one, I don't understand what you mean by quality. Ose Pesero is going to, okay, let me start by saying we don't know how much in actual terms the contract is worth. But if it is true that it has been slashed to a reported 25,000 from 70,000.
70?
Yeah, then I think Ose Pesero would the value we are going to get from him is the $25,000 value. That's what I honestly, that's what I honestly think. And I don't think, like I've always told you, I don't think any self-respecting coach would do that. What he shows is desperation at all costs, that he wants to stay because if he doesn't stay here, 25% of something, 25,000 is better than nothing. Because I do not see, because the Nigerian job has not even recommended him for something bigger or better than that. Because he has not really shown what he's capable of doing. So we have not seen it. Unlike, what's his name? Unlike Genetro, who has to manage Benin Republic on the recommendation of what he did with Nigeria. Now we have not seen that with Peseiro. Nothing has shown that he's capable, that he has the talent to manage better than this. So I guess he's stuck with Nigeria. Then one other thing that pisses me off every time is this what do you call it? This asinine predilection to always say we are giving him a target, a semi-final target, a quarter-final target. I think Nigeria is the only country in the whole world I see, I may be wrong, who does that. Why would you say you give him a target of getting to the semi-final? So once he gets to the semi-final, all is well. And there could be good reasons why he might not get out of a group. So, but when you say you have given him a target of the semi, besides, who gives the NFF any target to deliver? Who has asked them to deliver any target? What is the target of the NFF itself? So how would they be? It is when they pressurize coaches this way that makes the coaches to cut corners. You pressurize them. And this is the same employer that has not paid his employees. Now you will not pay them. You now tell them, I give you a target of quarterfinal or semi-final, and those ones will now go to every length imaginable to make sure that they get to realize that target, including having to take players who do not deserve to be in the team. Simply because, of course, if you have not paid me, you cannot tell me the number of players I can call to camp. You cannot tell me the manner in which I call players to camp. If I have to make it an open bazaar and get money from players, then it will be justified. So that for me is a no.
Oh, okay. James, I'll come back to you. Of course, 23-man list, we've seen it for the Sao Tome and Principe game, a dead rubber game, though, but of course, it will be taking place on the 10th. That is, I think, this Sunday this week. But the good thing is that we've seen the maiden call-ups for Gift Urban and Victor Boniface. It's delightsome, James. You know, we talked about this. I think you and I discussed this yesterday while we're discussing about other things, that maybe Murphy should just stay on the sideline for now because he seems to be struggling in front of goal for now. But these two guys, they've been in form, and of course, finally, they're in the national team.
Yes, you know, you always said it that invitation should be on merit, and these guys, I think their last qualifiers, they were kind of uproar, like why didn't they get the invitation? I think the game against Sierra Leone, you know, so hopefully now the good thing is they didn't allow that to affect them. They kept working out and they've been scoring goals. Boniface have been superb for Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. Urban has continued doing what he knows how to do best for Ghent. So I'm very happy. I mean, it gives this, it gave the super, all this over-reliance on Victor Osimhen, at least it should reduce. You know, if you don't try other guys, if you don't try other, see what they can do. I mean, you keep inviting the same players, and at some point you will get stuck. One thing I love about Urban, which I've watched, Boniface, is his hold-up play. I've seen him play for Leverkusen. Aside from the fact that he's the guy that gets the goal, he has this, you know, he's very big. And I've seen the way that a lot of Bundesliga defenders struggle to contain him. There's the last weekend game, one of the defenders almost pulled his jerseys off, all in the name of he wants to defend against him. The guy is so, I think that's another option, as in somebody who you can play off. You know, not just the direct, just rely on a certain player that, I mean, try it out, let's see what they can do. So that you have options, not that you keep relying on the same set of players. I mean, so for me, it's a good one. And a lot of people have been saying, why not mix the team, home base, and these new guys? But I think it's good to mix, let these players gel with the old guys. At least let them familiarize themselves. from there they were able to grow into the team. Not that we just find they want to play against Sao Tome and Principe, and a lot of people expect them to trash Sao Tome, but sometimes it doesn't work out like that. It's a small team, but at the end of the day, it's about first impression. If your first game doesn't go well, it might affect. So I think it's good for the big guys to start. Then maybe they can now come in and warm into the team, not just throw them into this is the national team. I know how it is with the Super Eagles. If you don't do well in your first game, it might come back to haunt you. Also, what happened to Peter Ije in his first and only game for the Super Eagles? That was against Jamaica 2003. Just one game that he struggled. He never got the call up again. So I expect the coach to introduce these guys, maybe bring them in the second half, and let's see what they can do. Hopefully, they'll be able to do well and improve the team.
Of course, we also saw the return of Francis Zoho to the team, of course, and the only NPFL player in that list is Olorunleke Ojo of Yimba. The Nigeria Professional Football League hasn't kicked off. It will be kicking off this weekend, and of course, there are a lot of other issues regarding that because of all the fixtures, the 10 fixtures that were released earlier by the board. We've been told that only one game will take place this weekend. They're saying it's a new tradition they want to follow. So we'll wait and see how things pan out. Of course, the camp for the Super Eagles will be opening on September 6th, and because that game will be taking place at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo. Kayode, let's come to JJ Okocha. Of course, this issue, this debate has been on social media for days now. But the interesting thing is that our colleagues have been reacting, some badly, some warming up to Okocha's position about the Nigeria Professional Football League. And I'll quickly read that quote. According to a statement he made to Capital Sport in Kenya, he said, "I'd rather watch EPL match on TV than to watch Nigeria Premier League live in a stadium." Kayode, now a lot of us didn't even know clubs, or some people do not know some clubs that Okocha played for, local clubs that Okocha represented, but the pictures are not circulating on social media. A lot of people, our colleagues, are not happy with the statement Okocha made. Yeah, the system is bad. Everyone is trying to pull hands together to make sure that things get back to what it used to be. But they are saying that a legend like Okocha shouldn't be saying this. He played for Rangers. They say the same Rangers made you before you travel abroad. And of course, remember that he was also at the point the chairman of the Delta FA, and with the support of Amaju Pinnick. So there's been a lot of reactions to this. What is your position? Even if things are not working, do you think Okocha should have made this statement?
Yeah, it depends on I refuse to join the bandwagon. It depends on the context of questions, what was asked, and how you respond to it. I guess Okocha was just responding to a question, but then he also has a role or the responsibility to contextualize his response and say, probably for XYZ reason. Yeah, those who are looking at the club he played for, probably the league he played in 1990, that's like some 34, 35 years ago, is not the same league that we have now. Let's give that to him. That time, everybody goes to the stadium, went to the stadium to watch football. Everybody that knows one thing or the other goes to the stadium to watch football. So probably that's where it's coming from now, that the league is not really attracting the crowd because certain things have not been put in place, that we should look at those things and try to put them in place. That would be a better way to have put it. I think it was just not emotionally intelligent enough to read the room and know that this is the likely interpretation people are going to give whatever he's going to say. I understand. The first time I read it, I didn't need to read it twice to understand that this is what he meant. But a lot of people would not. A lot of people who do not probably like his face or like his politics or whatever would not like it. Yeah, a lot of people could also point at his term as chairman of the Delta State FA. But I tell you, a lot of things went down under the bridge that you cannot start talking about here. because then I remembered he was chairman of the FA. At the point, Ikpeba was the vice chairman. At the point, there was a very big issue with Edema Fuludu, another ex-international. So those are things I don't even want us to get into in this debate, because we are going to just lose sight of the essence of having it in the first place. But I think Okocha might have been wrong in the way he situated what he wanted to say. But what he said is right, that we have to do things right, except we are saying that the truth should be qualified. That's
should be painted.
That's it. We all agree that things are not the way they should be. If somebody is saying it, you can't just come out and be criticizing him. You have to look at the context in which he has said what he has said.
Okay, let's take a trip to Ghana now. Finally, Chris Hughton has released his list for the crucial AFCON qualifier against Central African Republic. Kayode, the list is, of course, what we're used to, except for the Jonathan Soa, the Medema striker who made that cut. And over the weekend, of course, he scored a brace in Medema's victory over Dreams in the Champions of Champions Cup in Ghana. But let's look at that list, Kayode. We'll be missing some very key players. First, Thomas Partey is injured, and of course, Mikel Arteta has confirmed that he might be out for a while, and he said it is looking like an hamstring injury, and we know how long an hamstring can keep the player for. Then Daniel Amati, very experienced defender. Majid Ashimero, okay, we can say Majid just get into the squad. Joseph Volakot, of course, a backup for, of course, Lawrence Atizigi. Then Kamadi Sulemana, then Mama Salisu, and Benjamin Tete. These are particularly the two key central defenders. I think they will cause some worry for Chris Hughton, because if you're not having Mama Salisu and you're not having Daniel Amati in your defense line, it will cause some worry for you.
Yeah, it should ordinarily, but then, like I also say every time we have this discussion, Femi, international football is not club football. In club football, you could decide, oh, we are lacking the central defender, go out, go get them. We are lacking this, go out, go get them. But now you have to work with what you have. If any player is not available, you have to bring somebody else in who is qualified to play. I guess that's what happened. I would love to see, because the more teams play together, the better they become as a unit. And that's what I would like to see. The time to blood new players is not right. The Black Stars and the Super Eagles are not in the same situation going into this last game. The Super Eagles have qualified regardless of whatever the outcome is. The Black Stars have to get this game locked down, minimum of a draw, but a draw will not even do well. They should beat this team decisively, and I'm convinced they should be able to beat Central African Republic. If they do not, Femi, then they don't deserve to wear the shirt. I remember like 2 programs ago, I said these players are also Ghanaians. They know what it is. They have always also been fans at a point in their life. They will also go back to be fans after they have finished their careers, Femi. They know what they expect from those who are wearing the shirt. I always say we should not be much more Catholic than the Pope. We should not think that we are more patriotic than the players. Apart from the fact that they are Ghanaians and Nigerians like you and I, they also have their career to look at, because when they go to the AFCON, they do well, they get clubs. So they're also playing for their own careers. So we shouldn't just think that these players will just come like they are not interested in playing or whatever. So I'm sure that whatever needs to be done will be done, regardless of who is not available on that day.
Okay, James, I'm particularly excited that Chris Hughton finally has brought in someone from the Ghana Premier League in the person of Jonathan Soa. Of course, like I said earlier, he got a brace against Dreams in Champions of Champions Cup over the weekend. Like the cutting razor for the start of the Premier League in Ghana. But James, the Black Stars are putting together a friendly against Liberia as a warm-up, so to say, for the Central African Republic. Do you think the timing is right or wrong, considering the number of players who are even out already, carrying knocks?
Femi, when I saw the story, the report, I was a bit surprised. Fine, it's good to play tune-up game before, but I don't know. You are playing against a team that has nothing to lose. That's in Liberia. You have everything to lose because you've lost a lot of players due to injury, and you don't know the kind of approach Liberia will come with. So it will be so bad if you now players now get injured in that friendly game. I think what the GFA should have done is maybe organize against maybe one of the teams, a lesser team, just to tune the players in, just to warm them ahead of the game. But playing against Liberia, I mean, what if this guy you now suffer more injuries? Fine, we've seen teams play in friendly games even before the commencement of a World Cup major tournaments. We've seen that, too. But I think the timing is not that okay. I mean, friendly game. I mean, you're going to involve a lot of. You can't determine the kind of approach. Like I said, the Liberians will come with. They're playing against Ghana. They want to prove themselves. They want to give their all. And hopefully, I just pray that they don't suffer more injuries. So I just hope that no player will come out injured or anything, because I mean they can't afford not to qualify for the AFCON. You're playing against South Africa Republic. That's going to be a tricky game. They're playing at home. The Blacks are playing at home, but it's going to be a very, very, very tricky game. I'm telling you.
Okay, talking about the Central African Republic, of course.
I also think it's a very, very ill-advised. Okay. I see more negatives than positives in that game, because what are you expecting from a tune-up game of that matter? Do you need a test for the players? If you need a test, are you ready to pay the price that could come with such a test? Because in looking out for a test for these players, you need a stiff opposition. That's why you want them to play the Liberian team. Then when they play the Liberian team, how hard do you want the Liberians to go on their players? If they do, what could be the cost?
You will beg them before they please. This is just a friendly game. Be
then
gentle
you
enough.
Don't need that. You could have asked a crowd of Okocha or Ashanti Kotoko to come and play, or you select. That would have been a good time to select a Ghana 11 to play them. That would be better, because those players and the selectors side will both know what is at stake. So and besides, Femi, I do not even think, as a coach who has been with the team for more than a year now, Uti needs that kind of tune-up. What is he expecting to see
that he hasn't seen?
That he hasn't seen in all the time he has been with the team.
Okay.
So there are more negatives in that match against Liberia than positives. And if I were him, if it's not too late, they should just call it off. That's what I think.
I hope the GFA are listening right now. But James, let's talk about the CRL. Of course, they're already in Ghana. For you to tell you that these guys mean business. The game will be going down this Thursday. They are currently in Accra. Before they will spend some days before going to Kumasi, where that game will take place at Babayara Stadium. James, we talked about the Ayew last week, and of course, his name came out on the list of invited players. James is more like a deja vu, so to say, because though the last game against Angola, it was on the bench. You remember the controversy that trailed that his name wasn't even on the substitute list, but it was on the bench, the controversy. And like how they said last week, Christuti has to decide whether to play him or not, because if you're inviting someone who is the first captain of the team, then he has to play. But remembering the magnitude of this game, Ayew, who hasn't played a competitive game since the end of last season, that's around May, is he supposed to even be on this list? Is he going to play? That is the question everyone is throwing at Chris Hughton at the moment.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to believe Chris Hughton is already losing it, because what you need now, because of the injuries that the team has suffered, you need players who, as we're calling them, that this person has a part to play, not someone to come and be a ceremonial player. They don't need any ceremonial player. Now, this is a very crucial game, and I don't. God forbid the Black Stars suffer defeat. I mean, Chris Hughton is going. That one is certain. He's going, because I'm telling you, because all you need now is a player that once you call upon them, they're going to do. They have everybody has their role to play in this one. Party is not going to play as some other players. Whoever is coming. I mean, this is not the time to start doing players anybody favors. You have to qualify. You have to, because the jury is still on Chris Hughton. So you need to do everything to make sure you get the ticket. Even if you qualify, I know there's still some people who tell you it's still not good enough. Remember what one of the GFA officials said in a radio program? Came all out. He didn't even hide it. He said it that it's against the appointment of Chris Hughton. That's why the fact that he won some games and drew some. So I mean, inviting I find he has done well. He's a good servant. He has been a good servant for the Black Stars. But I mean, this is a crucial game, a very crucial, very important game. Not somebody will just come and take someone's position. I mean, it should be on merit. So for me, I think he goofed on that one. But I mean, he has already invited it. He cannot say he wants to remove his name from it. So let's just hope that that will not cause a lot of distraction for the team, because they don't need it right now.
Okay, guys, let's talk about Cameroon. Of course, remember that we also talked about the fact that Rigobert Song has eaten back his words, and he invited Onana for Cameroon's crucial game against Burundi. But up till now, Onana has not released a statement to say, "I'm returning back to the Indomitable Lions." Kayode, what do you think this will portend for Rigobert Song? And do you think it will cause some distractions in the team? Because we all knew what happened at the World Cup, and Rigobert Song said he will only work with players who are ready and determined to wear that jersey. But now calling the player out of retirement, we don't know what might have happened at the background. Maybe there's been some mediation, but up to now, Onana, who was in goal for Manchester United yesterday in their defeat to Arsenal, has not come out to say, okay, I'll be representing the Fekafoot. I'll be returning to the Fekafoot. Do you think it will cause some distraction ahead of this game? Because Cameroon need at least a point in this game, playing at home against Burundi next week.
We don't seem to learn from previous experiences of our own and from other people. See, if Cameroon fails to qualify against Burundi, it will not be because Onana was not there. If they go ahead to win the AFCON, that will be regardless of whether he is there or not. So for me, yeah, even if you're going to sort out the Onana problem, it shouldn't have been ahead of this game. I'm sure that there were some moves behind the scene to have Onana back in the team, and that's why the coach would have extended an invitation to him. But then the guy has not come out categorically to say he's going to be there or not. So that means the team cannot even go ahead with planning. Which means they cannot go ahead with planning, which is already trained partners in the work. So you ask yourself, why can't the FA wait? Why can't Fekafoot and those who are behind this push, why couldn't they wait until after this game has been played? Then they have a sit down between the coach and the player so that they could iron out their issues. But like I told you last time, Femi, I said these issues don't get ironed out. It will raise its head again. Eventually, it will be the end of one of them. It's either the coach will leave or the player will cease to play for the national team. Remember, I always say when there's a clash between the coach and the player, it doesn't end well. Often has to go for the other, and that's what I think has happened in this instance.
Okay, of course, my own point, if I'm asked, is even the fact that before now there's been a goalkeeper playing for the Indomitable Lions all through the qualifier. So why do you want to throw that individual back to the bench and bring in someone who hasn't participated in the qualifier so far? James, let's talk about Mohamed Salah. Before the transfer window got shut last Friday, Al Ittihad brought a whooping £100 million to Liverpool, and Liverpool rejected it for a 31-year-old. Do you think Liverpool should have cashed in on Mohamed Salah?
Well, sometimes this club size is, you don't just, because the club brought such huge amount. Salah is still a very active player. You don't want to lose. You just want to lose your.
We've seen active players going to Saudi Arabia. We've seen a lot of active players going to Saudi Arabia.
I believe they believe that Salah still have a lot to do for Liverpool. I mean, I know the money is very, very tempting, because the way the Saudi, they've been abusing football. I don't know whether that's the right time to use. They've been falling everywhere with money. So I don't think it's every club that wants to. Maybe, we don't know, maybe because it's what they showed us, that's what we read. Maybe Liverpool expect, maybe the money would have, if the money had gone higher again, maybe Liverpool would have, because everybody has a price, no matter how you want to look at it. But what if they bring a 200 million for a 31-year-old. I mean, they will even ship him. They will ask him to go there. They will bring his luggage with for him. So I mean, I think that's in the past. So he has continued from where he stopped last season, let's. I think the market in Saudi, I don't think it's short yet. Maybe
the
they
transfer window hasn't closed until September 7th.
So maybe we've not heard the last of this Salah issue. Maybe maybe they've gone back to rethink and repackage. So maybe
add more money.
Exactly. So that's
okay. Kayode, what do you think if you were Jurgen Klopp? £100 million for a 31-year-old. Of course, that could afford maybe another 4 Mohamed Salahs. But would you have advised Klopp to take that money, or just tell Al Ittihad, add £20 million more than I'll give you? What would you have done, Kayode? Or what advice would you have given to Jurgen Klopp?
Knowing how transfers work for me, I would say if the club actually confirms that there was a bid for him, then I would say they made the mistake not cashing in on Mohamed Salah. If they say there was a bid, a solid bid for him from Saudi Arabia for that amount that you people have been flying around, I would say they make it, because I know that during the transfer seasons, I know the tactics that people use, players, agents, clubs, that they use in flying kites about players. But if it is confirmed that there was a solid bid, I think they made a mistake. And the reason is, it's not because the player is not good enough. Don't forget, the name of the game is to make money. Everybody wants to make money. This could be at that age, once you are over the age of 30, this could be his last opportunity to make retirement money. It is Liverpool's opportunity to make big money on a player who is over 30. Because, I know for a fact that after his current contract runs out, they're not going to give him a long-term contract any longer. Probably it's going to be on a year-by-year basis. So why
not even the same salary? No.
So why don't you cash out now that you could get that amount of money? Keep the money in the bank. By January, you know you're going to need players there. One or two players you wanted during the summer window that you didn't get, you have enough time to look at them, and you have enough money to go get them. So for me, looking at it from all angles, I think it would be a missed opportunity. If actually there was a bid, Femi, that's the big if. And you see, that's why I don't comment on transfers, because I know how these things work. So but if there was a confirmed solid bid for him, and Liverpool agreed, they confirmed that there was a bid for him, then I say they have made a mistake by not getting that money and running with it. Like James said, they should have shipped him out and say, okay, we're going to bring your luggage later. Just go there, go and show your face. Go and appear, let them see you. Let them see you.
Okay, so of course, money rules the world. Of course, there's been a report that Jurgen Klopp is worried that the transfer window in Saudi Arabia hasn't closed yet. They said he's worried because he knows that Al Ittihad can decide to bring £300 million for Mohamed Salah. At that time, Liverpool now will say, Jurgen Klopp, it's either Mohamed Salah leaves or you leave. So one of you would have to leave. Yeah. Okay. So for the Black Stars, of course, the camp will be opening today, and that is understandable because, of course, remember, we had some players, they were in action. Even till yesterday, we had people like Jonathan. So, of course, he played in the Champions of Champions Cup in Ghana. So from today, we expect that players will be flying into Ghana for that crucial game against the Central African Republic. So like I told you, Central African Republic, they're already in Ghana. These are the two African countries, top African countries, Ghana and Cameroon, who are yet to qualify. Egypt, Tunisia, all of them, they are there already. Nigeria, they are there already. So that is why we focus on these two countries. So Ghana will be playing on Thursday. We are wishing the Black Stars all the best. Our Nigerian fans, please comment on the statement made by Okocha regarding the NPFL. Do you think it was right? Please let us know in the comment section. We'll see you later in the Ricardo Gundari and James Agrebi. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Femi.
Always a pleasure, Femi. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, so we'll see you guys, hopefully, coming out to say that, congratulating Ghana that they've qualified for the AFCON. We'll see you before that game. Hopefully, we'll come with a preview for that game. So we'll see you Wednesday or Thursday, wherever. But of course, we'll be coming around with some news from Ghana. I remain Ashalolu Femi. Bye for now.